Hey everybody, Tony D with your Hollywoke hot take. Gal Gadot. Gal Gadot is being cast as Cleopatra. And of course, Twitter had something to say about it. What doesn't Twitter have something to say about? Shut up, Twitter. They're furious because Gal Gadot is an Israeli and she has been cast as Cleopatra, the ruler of Egypt. And of course, the idiots on Twitter with a completely zero sense of history say, oh my God, you shouldn't be casting Gal Gadot, you should be casting an Arab actress. First off, actors and actresses play other people. And you don't know what Cleopatra looked like because nobody really knows. But we have an idea. And if you had an idea of who Cleopatra really was, you'd shut your idiot mouth. But let's take a look at Cleopatra. Who was she? Well, she was the descendant of, and I'm going to get this name wrong, but it's Ptolemy. Ptolemy the First Soter, was one of Alexander the Great's general. And he, like Alexander the Great, was a Macedonian from that area of the world. Greece, Macedonia, that area. Kind of a Greco-Roman guy. Cleopatra was a descendant of him by about 12 generations. Now, it's likely she also was of partial Arab descent, but keep in mind that Cleopatra also had an exotic beauty. She was known for an exotic beauty. If she lived in Egypt, an exotic beauty wouldn't have been Arab. An exotic beauty would have had features of people from other areas of the world. Most likely, Greco-Roman features. So it's likely, although we don't know for sure, that Cleopatra was probably a mixed biracial person with lighter skin than the locals. But no one knows for sure because we're talking, this is a long time ago. This is a very long time ago. This is a painting of Cleopatra, but you know, it was probably done hundreds of years after her death. Although you can see that's the way she looks. What we do know about people of that era is that they weren't tall and statuesque at all, like Gal Gadot or this hot Arab actress whose name I don't really know. What's her name? Nadine Najim? I don't know her. But Gal Gadot is like the biggest actress in Hollywood right now. So there's really no decision here from the studio. You got to go with Gal Gadot. In fact, they didn't say, we got to do a Cleopatra movie. Who do we get? They said, we got to do more Gal Gadot movies. What could she be in? This is what they chose because, of course, Elizabeth Taylor famously was in the 1963 film, and Gal Gadot kind of has that look. She's brunette, she's tall, statuesque, beautiful, like Elizabeth Taylor. I mean, she doesn't look like Elizabeth Taylor. She's way hotter than Elizabeth Taylor, in my view. So that's why she was cast in this movie. Now, if you were going to be true to Cleopatra and say, well, you got to cast someone who's part Macedonian and part Arab, I don't know why you would want to do that. Well, how far do you go? Because understand that nobility at that time, the looks of people at that time were different. If you were a peasant, you were tall, malnourished, not tall, you were short, malnourished, and skinny. And people were shorter back then. So she wouldn't be tall. you'd have to cast someone probably around 5 feet tall. Yeah. About 4'10", something like that. Pretty short. She'd also have to be fat. Because if you were a noble woman of that era, it was considered... come here, Joan. You want to be in the video? Come here. Joan wants to be in the video all of a sudden. If you were nobility, you were fat. That was a sign you had money. Look at my fat wife. Look how fat and happy she is. That was the era, the ancient times. You had a heavy-set wife. And people went, wow, look how fat your wife is. You must be doing real well for yourself. This is the nobility at that time. And there's no real sense of nutrition at that era either. She probably had a mouthful of rotting teeth. You know, probably smelled like, whew, everybody did. Even the people, you know, even the people at the top, they didn't have great hygiene. I mean, it was okay. It was better for the nobles. They certainly took more baths. They could afford to. But, you know, so you want to cast some short, squat woman to play Cleopatra, the legendary pharaoh of Egypt who seduced men. I don't think a lot of people are going to go see that movie. You know, I mean, it's just not going to work. It might be authentic. You could say it's authentic, but you wouldn't say that, you know, audiences are dying to see a short, fat woman seduce men. Seduce a bunch of skinny, scraggling-looking Romans who are just sort of barely holding it together and look like they're going to die when they hit 40. This is the ancient world. Read up on it. I want to see a movie with Gal Gadot. Again, that's the whole reason they cast her. It's the whole reason for this project. When they put together projects, they build them around a bankable star. Gal Gadot is bankable. She was in a hit movie, Wonder Woman. End of story. Once you're in a hit movie like Wonder Woman, Hollywood wants to put you in more stuff. You know, they like her. She's likable despite her missteps of the Imagine video. I don't think a lot of fans really hit her too hard for that. You know, and Twitter is really starting to grate on people and their idiotic complaints. Overall, I think it's a good casting choice. I don't think it's necessarily a good movie choice. I don't think there's a lot of burning desire to see another Cleopatra movie. I think this is just Hollywood falling back on its old ways. When all else fails, do a remake of something people sort of kind of remember. I don't know if this would be a breakout movie for Gal Gadot. You know, and keep in mind, she is from Israel. You know, her ancestors are in the Middle East. This is where Egypt's right below the Middle East and has a lot of people who look like her in it. And people came down and conquered Egypt. That's who Cleopatra was descended from. So it's perfectly viable that she could look, you know, she's too tall to be Cleopatra, but certainly Cleopatra could have looked like that. You know, chop off a foot and a half and add on 40 pounds and she'd probably look just like her. But who cares? No one's watching a Gal Gadot Cleopatra movie for history lessons. It's entertainment. No one's going to watch the movie going, wow, I never knew this about Egypt and Cleopatra. Duh. They're going to go, I want to see a movie, an entertaining movie about something. And this is something. I'm interested to see who they cast for Mark Antony. Are you guys going to whinge and complain if they don't cast an Italian person? Excuse me, Roman person, which technically could be a lot of different races. And when you look at Rome and all the areas they conquered, including northern Egypt, northern Africa. Excuse me. I don't think you will. So, Twitter, shut up. Gal Gadot is going to be in this movie. I don't know if Hollywood's really got any bankable ideas. They certainly got a bankable star here. If I had to cast Gal Gadot in something, I would want to put her in a movie that would accentuate her best features. You know, she's been in Wonder Woman, action star. She's still young and beautiful. I would put her in another action type role. Maybe do like a female James Bond kind of thing. That to me could be fun. I would give her more fun movies. She's a friendly face. I don't know if Cleopatra, that's going to be kind of an intense movie. We'll definitely get to see if her acting chops are up to snuff. Maybe they are. I mean, this is definitely an opportunity for her. Unfortunately, Twitter's trying to hobble her before she gets out the gate. It's going to be one of these big, Hollywood splendor movies where they spend way too much money and got CGI chariots everywhere crashing into each other. But yeah, and it says right here in the article, others note Cleopatra was Greek. Yeah, she was at least half Greek. So, the thing is, I would cast her in something like that. I would cast her in a romance movie. Yeah, she'd be a great lead for a female romance movie. Something like that. She definitely needs to be in more movies. I think, Hollywood is slow to crank these movies out. They had an opportunity here, during the downtime to shoot some stuff, maybe in closed sets. You could have taken a cast and crew, said, listen, we're going to isolate everybody, test them. You're going to be in isolation for 2 weeks, and then you're all going to live, in the same area until we finish the movie. They would have had to pay them more, but at the end of it, they would have had a movie, a real movie that they could then market. Instead, they just shut down production. I mean, that would have added expense, don't get me wrong, but Hollywood pisses away money left and right. I mean, the amount of money they pissed away on the Justice League movie, on reshoots alone, would have covered that. So, but Hollywood is what it is. They do what they want. And this is, another retread. Will I go see it? I don't know. Depends on if she's going to be naked. If she's going to be naked, sign me up. But I don't think she will be. I think it's going to be, like one of these big splendor movies. Maybe I'll see it, 5 years from now on the History Channel or something. Catch a glimpse of it and go, oh, there's Gal Gadot as Cleopatra. Huh. And that'll be it for me. All right. That's it for me for today. Hope you enjoyed my little commercial, and we will see you tomorrow.